Hi there, welcome to the Nomad Bushcraft fire making demonstration. I'm going to show you two methods today of primitive fire lighting technique. One involves something called a fire piston and one involves something called a fire steel. I'm going to show you how to strike an ember with these and how to actually go through the whole fire making process to produce fire. Hope you're interested, and if you'd like to purchase any of these items, they're on our display. Firstly, let's talk about the fire piston. What we have is a block of wood, and it has inside here a brass tube. We have a plunger, and the idea is it acts a little bit like a diesel engine. You place a piston inside the tube with the tinder in it, give it a sharp smack, and it should set fire to you. The compression of the air rapidly compresses, generates heat, which lights your ember. These originally come from the Philippines, and we've had these made specially for the British climate. So they've got a rubber seal because we get very, very wet, and a brass in there so it lasts a long time for you. I'm going to show you now how you load it up and what you get with the kit. Right, your fire piston kit comprises the following things: a fire piston, a tinder for the fire piston, full instructions, grease for the fire piston, replacement gaskets, and a cleaning tool. So how do you start a fire with a fire piston? Well, firstly what you have to do is remove the cylinder. You'll notice that there's a little string attached to this. Pull this out of the way, because this breaks the seal when you put the fire piston back together to store it. On the top of this, you need to put a small amount of tinder. Now you can use anything you like. You can use char cloth, you can use fermentarius fungus, you can use horse's hoof fungus, Daldina concentrica fungus. Today we're going to be using compressed carbon paper. Your tinder looks like this. It's charred paper that we've compressed. And what we're going to do is take a small piece off the edge here, about the size of a match head. Always remember to keep that dry. You take your pot of grease and just touch the plunger into the grease, ever so slightly. You place the tinder on the top, like that, only about the size of a match head, and then you engage this plunger gently into the tube, and your fire piston is ready for firing. In order to start the fire piston, we have to rapidly compress this cylinder, and that's done with a short, sharp stabbing action. And then we'll end up with our ember on the top. You can see they're glowing. Okay, so we have our ember now, and what we're going to do now is bring it to flame. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to take some finely teased straw and some some grass that I've picked up in the forest here, and we're going to pop this. You can see how well it's smoking there. Just pop it in the centre of this. And then gently, using a bit of a breeze from the forest as well to help us out, we're going to blow we have our fire. Very, very simply, very, very quickly. So To light our fire with the sea steel is slightly different. What we need to do like that is strike it against some flint. And in your kit you'll find sea steel. There's lots of different styles, but effectively what it is a piece of iron that's been specially tempered, and when you strike it against flint it creates sparks. You'll find a piece of flint, so that when you bring the two together you get sparks, and you'll also find some char cloth. I've just taken a small piece off. So to light a fire with a char cloth, what we're actually doing is we're going to spark the flint against the steel onto the char cloth, which will make it start to glow, and then we'll take that to our tinder. So if we break off a small piece of our char cloth, place it on the top of the flint, like so, find an edge, a sharp edge here, and then strike the steel in our fingers down smartly against the flint, like so. And you'll actually see it will start to glow. If it's very, very wet, or you're going to be in an area where you're not going to be able to pick up tinder to make your fire with, one of the things that we recommend you have is a tinder box here. And this takes, we'll show you how to use this in a minute, but basically it takes the ember from either a fire piston or the flint and steel, or you can even shine a magnifying glass onto the crosshairs here, and it will actually take your ember to flame. And what we do is we pack that before we start out. We can pack it with birch bark, or we can pack it with cedar bark like we have here, or straw, and there's a cross cut into the side in which we place our ember. Then we blow into it and we blow it to flame. It's called the tinder pal, and it's an optional extra for your fire piston or your fire stove. And there you have your flame, which you can then take to your kindling.